Below is your USA-based story with the title you gave, approximately 4,000 words, no headings. Dash dash dash. The tiny corner booth at Willow and Main Cafe always smelled like cinnamon rolls and warm hope. At least that's how Emma Carter liked to imagine it. On this particular Saturday afternoon in Seattle, she sat there, lightly tapping her fingers against her coffee cup, trying to calm the nervous flutter in her stomach. A blind date. Her first one in almost 2 years. Her best friend, Mia, had insisted she try again. You're 26, gorgeous, and a nurse. Love is not gonna walk into the holding a bouquet, Mia had declared dramatically before shoving her toward the world of dating apps. Emma wasn't convinced. She believed in love. She did, but her life was already packed. 12-hour shifts, back-to-back nights sometimes, no family locally. Love felt like a luxury for people with time and energy. But when Mia had sent her a profile with a soft jawlined man named Ethan who apparently worked in business and liked family and Sunday breakfasts, Emma decided, fine. Maybe she deserved a moment to dream. So here she was, jeans, soft sweater, hair curled at the ends, nerves running a marathon. She checked her watch. 5 minutes early. She practiced her introduction silently in her head. Hi, I'm Emma. No, that's weird. Too stiff. Hey, nope. Too enthusiastic. Hello. Nice to finally meet you. The bell over the cafe door jingled, and a gust of cool air drifted in with a man who made the room quiet in her mind. Tall, broad-shouldered, haircut too good to be accidental. Beautifully exhausted eyes. But the tiredness somehow only made him look softer, not weaker. He scanned the room like someone who always needed to know exits and plans. CEO energy. Except, 3 tiny girls clung to him like vines. Triplets. Perfectly identical, curly-haired, hazel-eyed chaos. Emma blinked once, twice. They were adorable. Like miniature dolls who had discovered glitter at some point in life and never recovered emotionally. The man followed the hostess instead of scanning for her. Emma frowned. That couldn't be. Oh. He stopped at her table. Emma, he asked, voice warm, deep, and tired in a way only parents and ER residents understood. She blinked again. Yes. He exhaled in relief. Hi, I'm Ethan Hayes. Sorry. We're a few minutes late. Then, with a sheepish nod downward, and we. One of the little girls tugged his sleeve. Daddy, she pretty. Emma's mouth parted. He smiled, embarrassed. This is Lila, Lucy, and Lily. My reminders that the universe has a dark sense of humor. Hi, Emma breathed, stunned and charmed and overwhelmed. 3 sets of eyes blinked up at her like she was a princess entering a castle. The tiniest one whispered loudly, Daddy said don't scare her away. Ethan looked like he wanted to melt into the marble floor. Emma almost laughed but caught herself. He looked nervous, suddenly vulnerable in a way she didn't expect from a man who looked like he owned half the cafe. You brought your daughters? She asked carefully. His voice tightened. Their nanny's car broke down. My sister was supposed to help but she's stuck at work. I couldn't cancel and, he rubbed his forehead. I didn't want to stand you up. Blind dates are already awful enough. He said it like a man who had been stood up once too often. Emma's heart didn't just soften, it liquefied. I understand, she said honestly. Really? The children stared at her with suspicion and fascination. You can sit, Emma offered. All of you. He hesitated. You're sure? Yes. He sat. One daughter climbed into his lap, another coloring in a tiny princess notebook, the last one hiding her face behind her hands like she was an undercover spy. Emma leaned forward. Hi, girls. I'm Emma. Are you gonna marry Daddy? The boldest one. Lucy asked instantly. Ethan groaned. Oh my God. Emma choked on a laugh. I just met Daddy. You can fall in love fast, Lily said knowingly. Like Mama and Daddy did. Emma's eyes flickered to Ethan. His jaw tightened. Not in anger, but ache. Your mom? Emma asked gently. They live in heaven together, Lila whispered, matter of fact. It hit like a soft, heavy wave. Not divorced. Not complicated. Loss. Real, painful loss. Emma swallowed. I'm sorry. Ethan nodded once, grateful but uncomfortable. The girls returned to doodling, humming, kicking their feet. One started putting sugar packets in a neat pile like she was preparing to open a cafe herself someday. So, Ethan started, trying to recover. You're a nurse. Yes. Pediatrics. His eyebrows lifted. Oh, so the triplet attack squad doesn't terrify you. I've worked night shifts, she teased. This is cute. A slow smile pulled at the corner of his mouth. Cute. Huh. You hear that, munchkins? You're not terrifying today. Lucy whispered. We will be later. 2 hours later. No one had frightened anyone away, shockingly. The girls had somehow convinced Emma to help them draw their ultimate playground castle, which apparently included unicorn stables and a pancake waterfall. Emma listened, doodled, laughed, even wiped a yogurt smear from Lila's cheek. Ethan kept staring at her like he was watching a sunrise he didn't expect. At one point Lucy rested her head on Emma's arm and Ethan's eyes widened like he was witnessing magic. You must be good with children, he murmured. Emma smiled softly. They're easy to love. His throat bobbed. She caught it, but said nothing. When the girls began yawning, Ethan stood. We should get going before someone decides to eat a napkin. Lucy gasped. Napkins are not food. Sometimes. He lifted his daughters into tiny coats, one by one. Patient, practiced, gentle. Emma helped tie a shoe, and when their hands brushed, warmth shot through her chest. At the door, he hesitated. I know this wasn't normal. I wanted it to be. It was real, she said softly. And nice. The girls waved wildly. Bye, Miss Emma. Come play again. We love you. Emma flushed. You. Same. I mean not love. Ethan's low chuckle saved her. They get attached fast. Do you? She asked without thinking. He went quiet. A softness beneath his guarded edges. I don't. Let myself usually. His honesty was fragile. She tucked it into her heart. Well, she said, maybe we can take it slow. Slow. He repeated like he was learning the word. Yeah, I'd like that. Then he shifted awkwardly. Do you like pancakes? She blinked. I'm a nurse. Pancakes are practically therapy. Sunday morning. There's a little place by the marina. They have heart-shaped kid pancakes. And coffee strong enough to resurrect the dead. You mean nurses, she joked. Same thing. He smiled. Text me, she said, feeling brave. I will. Lucy yelled from the car window. Daddy likes you. Emma pressed her lips together, cheeks burning. Ethan ran a hand over his face. She's not wrong, he muttered under his breath. Quiet, unsure, hopeful. And she heard every word. Sunday morning came like sunrise on calm water. They walked the marina. The girls fed ducks while Emma and Ethan spoke softly. About work, grief, life. He told her about his wife, Anna, who had been his college sweetheart, their whirlwind romance, the impossible heartbreak when complications after childbirth changed everything overnight. I promised her I'd give them a happy life, he said. Some days I think I am. Others. His voice cracked. You're doing better than you think, Emma whispered. He looked at her like she'd handed him air when he couldn't breathe. The more they talked, the more Emma saw it. His strength wasn't in being a CEO, it was in being a dad. By afternoon, the girls insisted she join a princess pirate dance battle at the park. Ethan laughed, shaking his head as Emma pretended to sword fight with a pink plastic wand. You're amazing, he said quietly when she came back breathless. No, she said. They just make it easy. He didn't answer, just stared like she was rewriting his world. Weeks formed a rhythm. Late night calls after her shifts. Coffee drops on his office desk. Triplet coloring competitions. Little hands braiding her hair. Giggles. Pancakes. Learning where children hide snacks. Learning where a widower hides hurt. One night, after she soothed Lily through a nightmare and tucked her back in, Ethan found Emma in the hallway. You stayed, he whispered, stunned again. Most people don't. I'm not most people, she said simply. He reached for her cheek, hesitant, reverent. Emma, before I do this, tell me to stop if it's too soon. She shook her head gently. It's not. He kissed her like a man terrified and hopeful all at once. Soft, slow, trembling. A kiss built not on spark but safety, on something deeper and real. When they pulled back, she rested her forehead to his. We don't rush, she whispered. No, he agreed. We just grow. Together. Together. Dash dash dash. Time carved space for love without force. Healing threaded itself into the ordinary. She brought color back into their home. They brought laughter back into hers. On a quiet summer evening months later, he watched her reading stories to three pajama-clad girls sprawled across her lap like she belonged there, because she did. Lila whispered, Daddy, yes. Can Emma be ours forever? His voice wavered. I hope so. Emma's eyes filled. She looked at him, breath shaking. I'm not going anywhere, she said softly. And she meant it. Ethan reached across the couch, lacing his fingers with hers. You walked into chaos, he whispered. And brought peace. She squeezed his hand. You already had the love. You just needed someone to remind you. He kissed her knuckles. Slow. Grateful. The triplets cheered because to them everything was magic and loud and full of future. And for the first time in years, so was he. So was she. Love hadn't arrived the way she expected. It came with crayons, tiny shoes, sticky fingers, and a man who carried heartbreak like a shadow. But it came. Slow. Soft. Found. Not forced. And it stayed.